Welcome to the Bay. All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest questions for any PC builder out there, picking the right mid-range GPU. And we've got a fantastic matchup for you. Two of AMD's latest RDNA 4 cards are going head-to-head in a proper showdown. You know, this is the classic problem, isn't it? It's the one we all face. Do you go for the smart, super efficient card that gives you amazing bang for your buck? Or you shell out a little extra for that raw, unadulterated power that'll keep you ahead of the curve for years to come? That's what we're here to figure out. Okay, so let's introduce our two fighters. In one corner, we have the brand new RX 9060 XT, and in the other, its bigger, more powerful sibling, the RX 9070 XT. Now, these two cards really represent two completely different ways of thinking. The 9060 XT, that's your efficiency king. It's purpose-built to give you the absolute best value for incredible 1080p and even 1440p gaming. But the 9070 XT, well, that's a whole different animal. It's a true 1440p powerhouse, built for people who want to crank every setting to max, especially with ray tracing. All right, enough talk. Let's see what these cards can actually do. It's time for the showdown. We're going to dive deep into the hard data, the frames, the power draw, and all the raw specs that make these things tick. Let's go. First up, we're throwing them into the deep end with Cyberpunk 2077 at 1440p high. Now, the 9060 XT puts up a really impressive 82 frames per second. That is a super smooth experience. But look at this. The 9070 XT just pulls away, hitting a solid 102 FPS. That 20-frame gap isn't just a number. You can feel that extra smoothness. So what about competitive gaming, where every single frame is crucial? Well, in Warzone, the 9060 XT is already pushing an insane 180 FPS, but the 9070 XT just stretches its legs and hits 215. For anyone with a high refresh monitor, that extra 35 frames is a very, very real competitive advantage. And you know, looking across a whole bunch of games, this trend holds up. It's not a fluke. The RX 9070 XT is consistently giving you about 20 to 30% more performance at 1440p. That's not a small step up. It's a whole other tier of gaming. And ray tracing? Yeah, let's talk about it. Both cards have the latest RT hardware, which is great, but that extra muscle in the 9070 XT makes a huge difference. Think of it this way. The 9060 XT gives you a good taste of what ray tracing can do. The 9070 XT lets you have the full meal. It's just a much smoother ride with all those pretty lights turned on. So where does all that extra performance come from? Well, this chart tells the story. They both have a healthy 16 gigs of VRAM, which is fantastic, but look at the bus width. The 9070 XT has a 256-bit bus. That's double the 9060 XT. It's like going from a 2-lane country road to a 4-lane superhighway for your data. Of course, all that power comes at a cost, which you can see right there in the power draw. And whoa, let's just stop on that number for a second. 144-watt difference? That's massive. And it's not just about your power bill. This affects everything. It means you're going to need a bigger power supply for the 9070 XT, you're going to need better airflow in your case. It changes the whole philosophy of your build. Okay, so the 9070 XT is faster. No surprise there. But performance is only half the story. For most of us, the real decision comes down to value. So let's talk about the true cost of getting those extra frames. Here we go. The RX 960 XT comes in at a typical price of around $349. And honestly, for what this card can do, that is a super attractive price point for anyone wanting to get into high-quality PC gaming. And then you've got the RX 9070 XT, sitting at $599. So yeah, that is a big jump up. You're definitely paying a premium for that top-tier 1440p experience. The big question is that premium worth it for you? And this right here, this chart might just be the most important one of all. This is frames per dollar. And look at that. The RX 9060 XT is the clear, undisputed champion here. You are just getting so much more performance for every single dollar you spend. If pure, raw value is what you're after, the 9060 XT is screaming your name. So with all the numbers crunched and all the data on the table, let's bring it home. Let's figure out which one of these cards actually belongs in your next rig. We've broken it down to make it super simple. If you're a 1080p gamer or you're just dipping your toes into 1440p and you want awesome value, the RX 9060 XT is your card, no question.
But if you're a 1440p enthusiast with a high refresh monitor, or you want to maybe even dabble in some 4K gaming, then yeah, making that investment in the RX 9070 XT is definitely the right move.
So really, it all boils down to this. The 9060 XT is the smart, sensible choice if you're all about value right now. The 9070 XT is more of an investment. It's the future-proof option that gives you the performance headroom to tackle whatever games come out next. And hey, all of the data and the deep dive analysis we used for this came from the awesome folks over at bestgpusforgaming.com. So if you're a data nerd like me and you want to see all the nitty-gritty benchmarks, definitely go check them out. So now I have to ask you, what's it going to be? Are you on Team Value King with the 9060 XT? Or are you going for the performance beast, the 9070 XT? Let us know what's stocking in your next build. Keep it cool and keep building.